baseball, not always the best team wins, right? You got to still go out there and get it done.
Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast Baseball Talk, powered by Game 7 Baseball, game7baseball.com. Hey, we are marching towards March, and guess what? We got some warm weather, too. I mean, I know people are getting out on the fields and doing some stuff, so hey, it's that time of year. Let's get going with some baseball. And while you're at it, go ahead and go to game7baseball.com. Register your team. Check out the great events there with Game 7 Baseball, all the way from Tennessee, all the way up to and down to Southwest Missouri. It's a lot of fun. If you want to know where we're going to be with Game 7 Baseball, go to youthbaseballmidwest.com. See the Super 7 series on the Youth Baseball tab. Come check it out. Come have a weekend with Youth Baseball Midwest at a Game 7 Baseball tournament. We'd like to have a lot of fun on Saturdays, and we'll be live streaming a 14U championship, 2 semis, and a championship game on Sunday. So we're looking forward to that. So make sure you are registered at game7baseball.com. Follow us on X at YBM_cast and on IG, Facebook, and TikTok at Youth Baseball Midwest. So we have some good stuff. We were at the PBR event, the MoCan All-State Invitational with Mr. Urban. It was a lot of fun. We're rolling the interviews we did with those Kansas players right now on our social media, so please go check those out. They were a lot of fun. Today, folks, on the Prime Sports Midwest Call Link, we have, as always, the guru himself, Mr. Kevin Moulder. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. How was that event? You have a fun time over in Kansas City this past week?
We did. Danny Lake, I want to give a shout out to Danny Lake over there with Mackensites. It is a crazy cool facility, man, and they did some upgrades to it. It's just a heck of a nice facility, and Danny, he's one of the nice guys. He really is. I like Danny Lake. Nick Crouch is doing Gonzo. We've had him on the show. They've got some really good people over at the Mackensites facility. And I know Andy, I mean, that was efficient. I'm going to tell you, Kevin. He ran through that bad boy.
That's a great event and a good venue. And it usually takes a good venue to pull something of this size and magnitude off. And they certainly have that over there. So that's makes for a good showcase event.
And it's fun watching Andy. You guys are, it's so hard to run one of these events, make sure it goes seamless, and everybody around it looks seamless, probably on the outside.
It takes a lot of preparation to pull something like that off. A lot of moving pieces, and there is an art to it. And obviously our goal is for everyone to have a good experience, and it might be a long day for us, but we try to have it be as an efficient and timely manner for the players specifically as we possibly can. It doesn't always happen. Some of it's unavoidable, but we do try to make it as efficient as possible for the players.
And the cool thing is the people that I get to meet at these events. A couple of years ago, I had met Steve Moritz, the Padre scout there.
Oh, Steve Moritz, yeah.
Yep, had him on the show, and he was there again, and just a heck of a nice guy to talk to. Really enjoy Steve, and it's kind of cool. You get to meet these people that I probably would have never met before. So it's cool, and talking baseball with those guys on that level. And we met it's the first time I did. Yeah. Judd Kendall, the head coach at State Fair, and got a chance to talk with him a little bit, about different things as he was there helping out and watching at the event and talking to kids and stuff. So I love that part of it, Kevin, and that's the experience of it. And you see these types of people there. It makes an impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, it certainly does, and that is the fun thing about these events. We're bringing players in from all over the state. Now we do have a West version and an East version to kind of make it more manageable for families to travel wise, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, it's a fun way to get a lot of good baseball people together and see them work out, and you get drawn in with some scouts and some coaches generally are at these events as well.
And we're going to talk about some things today. And I think it's one of the interesting things here too, is these events like that one, that's the moment, it's an invite only. We're going to be with you in a couple weeks at the sports barn over in Wentzville. It's an invite only. And you guys do these invitation onlys, but then we're going to talk a little bit about this today. It's the difference between then going and doing, you do a lot of stuff with the clubs and visit the clubs and do some of these scout days with the clubs. And it catches pretty much all the kids at that point, right?
Yeah, we have a couple different types of events, and yeah, you're the MoCan or the Missouri preseason All-State event. Those are invite only events, and then we do the ones with the Scout Days where we go out and we basically put their guys through a pro style workout. Both are good. Slightly different approaches for us, but we see a lot of great players at both, and ultimately we're looking for to help guys move on to the next level. That's obviously our job, but then also trying to put together our future games events and our national events, or all American games, or Super 60s. So if we see a player at any of these events, we're putting them in the mix for those national type events as well.
It was interesting too, because there was a young man, I think it was the young man from Lawrence Free State, the catcher we were talking to, Carter Laubach. I think it was him. Yeah, that was one of his goals. He wanted to make a futures game team, and I think that that's kind of cool. If you're looking for that kind of experience, I think those are neat things. He's one of the first kids in that setting that's actually said that to me, though.
Yeah, a lot of the kids, have that as a goal, especially as a sophomore, now as a junior as well, and that is a great goal to have. My comment would be, hey, you come to this event, and then anything that comes beyond that is kind of a bonus or cherry on top. You shouldn't come to one of these events expecting to be able to make one of those teams.
Right, right.
You need to come to this event and use it to benefit you. And if anything additional comes your way, like a future games invite or a Super 60 invite, then that's just an extra for you. But really, you're using this as a measuring stick. You're able to see your data. You're using this as a recruiting profile to help you get noticed by college coaches. That should be your main priorities or focus.
I don't know that we've ever done this before, Kevin, when I've talked to you about that. How interactive can a player be with their profile? Do they get, are they able to just put up whatever they want? How does that work for the player on that side?
They get to put out a good amount of information. They can put in their GPA, their contact information. To start out, they can put their position and like their height and weight. Now, if you come to one of our events, we will now measure you and weigh you, so you can have a verified height and weight. But you can also have a chance to enter your height and weight not verified as well. So there's a little mark by that. Um, Positionally, I let them mark their position until they get to a certain age. And this will happen with some of our older guys. as a freshman, they'll call themselves a third base / pitcher. And they'll, by the time they're a junior or senior, whatever, they're committed to whatever school they're committed as. And I am for certain that they are going there as a pitcher. I'll switch that around. And then I turn them to a pitcher / third baseman. So sometimes, parents or players will see the rankings and they'll wonder, oh, how can you have this player ranked this? I'm a much better infielder than him. And that might be true. I might agree with you, but he's ranked in his position because he is a really good pitcher. Or it could be the inverse of that. It could be he calls himself a pitcher on this profile, but he's more of a hitter. But it generally happens on the pitching side of things.
Can they add their own videos and stuff to the profile, or does that all just come from you guys?
Actually, yes. We just added, that's one of our more exciting features that we just put in. Now with our subscription plus model, you can add videos. So if you're, like this spring, obviously I go out and get to as many high school games as I can, but clearly I can't come to every one of your high school games, talking to the player here. So, I might make it to 1 to 2, 3, obviously the more you win, the more opportunity you have. You get to the districts and sectionals and state tournament, etc. But if, mom or dad or a coach or whoever has a video of your home run or a double or a big pitch that you make, you're now able to upload that onto your profile. So that's glad you brought that up, and that happened organically. That's pretty great. But that was one of the things we're trying to make things more interactive for people, and just to give more and more value to the profile.
There you go. That's cool. There you go. As you can tell, our trip to Kansas City bore some more fruit, Kevin, in the hat collection. Coach Bradshaw, I'll tell you what, Kevin, you've been talking about facilities and stuff, venues and whatnot. Oh my goodness. Kansas City. We didn't go to high schools. We went to small colleges.
There we go.
I'm not kidding, man. I mean, we went, of course, saw Coach Josenberger right off the get, out to Staley High School.
Yeah. It's a great setup.
He's rolling us. I'm like, my gosh. He goes, right? Yeah, who wouldn't want to coach here? And the weight room was, my goodness, and they're all like that. And then we go over to Liberty and Coach Bradshaw. Their basketball, it's an arena. It's not just a gym. It's not a high school gym. No, it's a small college arena. Have you ever been there?
I haven't been in their basketball arena. No.
Oh my good. Yeah, it's an arena. It's got a deal. It's got a, if you walked in where you have the big hang, it's got video boards on each side hanging down of the scoreboard and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, my goodness, this is a high school? It's not every high school I've ever seen. And of course, Blue Springs is the same way. Shout out to Coach Sipes, Coach McElliott, Coach Josenberger, Coach Bradshaw for the hats. I don't ask, I don't solicit. They bring them, and we appreciate it because I love this part of it. I love showing it off, and the coaches that have brought us hats, we accept them gratefully, and appreciate the fact that they think about us, because I'm a hat guy, and I love this part of it. It's fun. And Coach McElliott, is last year, we had him sign the hat for us. And what's that? Oh yeah, and this is the first. This is a brand new hat for this season, so we're displaying it right there.
Ooh, so unveiling, yeah,
nice. Yeah. shout out to Coach McElliott, and so there you go. That's a cool looking hat, right? And we had him sign the bill. That's we had a great conversation over there with him. It's his last year. Um, we came into this as late as we are with some of these coaches that way, and some of those guys that have been around a long time, they're now moving on, and I really enjoy the conversations with Coach McElliott. He's really fun to talk to.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
Yeah. So, I think Coach Bradshaw, I really enjoyed that. Liberty North. Woohoo. They're going to be tough to beat, Kevin.
Reloaded again, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. I think Coach Sipes is pretty much reloading up there in Platte County as well. We had a visit at Competitive Edge up there, and great facilities with that group, and they do a lot of they have a lot of Platte County kids. Of course, it's right down the road. It was a lot of fun. It was a really fun trip. Shout out to Coach Melody, Lee Summit. I think that's going to be a fun one. We've got them on the schedule. So we had a great trip to Kansas City, 5 high schools in Staley, Liberty North, Platte County, Blue Springs, and Lee Summit, and really enjoyed it all. The coaches, fantastic. Love the hospitality. They were so gracious in taking the time to talk with us, and had a lot and we got a chance to meet some of the seniors. We brought them into the conversation, Kevin, and that's always fun because you got to get it. These kids, man, they're ready to go. They're pumped up.
Absolutely. Right now, you get these events going, and they know that practice is right around the corner for them. We're just a couple weeks out from March, and it's fun when you get a day like today. It's a little bit warmer. You might be able to get out on the field, take some ground balls, and so they can feel the season's right around the corner, right?
Absolutely. And so it was a great feel. We got one more trip to make at the end of the month. We're going to head down to Southwest, and we're going to roam around there. We are going to do some day stuff. We're going to try and get over to the central part of the state. We want to visit with Coach Bazat over there at Rockbridge. I think they're going to be tough in the central part of the state as far as Class 6 is concerned. Taken over there for oh my gosh, my head just took a blank.
Oh, at Rockbridge.
Huh? No, the coach that just went out. The Rockbridge coach that just retired. Coach Bazat.
Oh, Justin Tao?
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
No, that's what I was saying. Coach Bazat just taken over for Justin Tao over at Rockbridge.
I thought we were looking for the school, and I was like, it's Rockbridge.
Oh, no.
I didn't know. Yeah. Coach Tao.
See, I'm not making any sense even to you, Kevin. So there you go.
You lost me for a second.
That's all right.
On board, me. We're good.
Yeah. So a lot of fun stuff. Let's get into some conversation here. You've been rolling around with some of these club events. I know you didn't. I want to start Southwest. When we talked about this, you said you weren't actually there, but some of these kids. So we're going to get into it. It was down with the Marucci Midwest Club down in Southwest Missouri. And of course, we're going to start off with some pitching as I think you agree. That's where it all begins, when you throw the pitch, right?
That's right.
Right off the get, this young man, and I think this is why Miller High School down in Southwest Missouri won the Class 2, and I think they're going to be right there in the mix, is this Jace Wilkinson kid.
Yeah, he had some of the most impressive just stat lines of the year. If you just look at innings pitched and strikeouts, and I believe they're Class 2 and defending state champions, and he was a huge piece. Why we brought him to the future games last year. He's a left-hander that can get into the low 90s. Obviously in mid-January he was just starting to ramp it up. So right in the upper 80s, scratching 90. but recently committed to Mizzou. So Chase is going to be one of the, he's one of the big arms in that part of the state, and really just in general. I would expect him to be one of the more dominating arms in the state this spring at the high school level.
And big news over at Mizzou. They just got a new pitching coach.
Yeah, yes. This summer, Drew Dickerson came on board from University of Virginia. So yeah, new pitching coach for Mizzou.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I read an article recently about that, and it just, as you said that, it popped in my head. That's the way that works. Here's another one. These are guys that just every year in, year out, they get it done over at Willard High School. Matt Burns. Another one that's he's a shortstop, right-handed pitcher. Talk about this young man.
Yeah, a couple good arms from Willard right here. But Matthew Burns, athletic kid, also plays a little middle infield and upper 80s arm. So we've talked with Coach McGee a lot about how he integrates some of these younger guys into his program. Matthew's going to be a junior, and then Carson Fidget. I hope, or Fugit. I hopefully I got that one correct. Also is one of the rising sophomores in the state, an upper 80s arm, two-way talent for Willard as well.
That's interesting too, as you say that, because of course Levi Hilton he's their dude, but you got a couple of guys behind him that these guys are legit on the mound, and three guys like this, Willard, they could do some damage here, can't they?
Yeah, and they're going to put together a challenging schedule, so you're going to need depth on the mound, and they have a decent amount of it right here. And then, Coach always so good. He seems to always have those strike throwers with good secondary pitches, but now it looks like they got some arm strength depth as well this year.
Absolutely. There was I'm looking for this one. Neosho. We talked about this. Here's a young man that I think is interesting. He's with the KC. He was with the KC Royal Scout team going at Neosho, a sophomore, a 2028. He's been to a couple of events, 6'2", 171. We've talked about this. We had Neosho in our top 20 last year. When we've talked with Coach McGee, he's talked a little bit about Neosho right there. I believe it's Coach Kilgore that is at that program. And I think it's interesting because his son is now going over to coach at Carl Junction. I believe that's the way that works. I think I have all my facts right. I'm throwing that off the top of my head. So if you fact check me, let me know. Put it in the comments below. But Neosho, I think, is right there. They've got a couple of good arms. And this young man right here, he's throwing in the upper 80s, velo range, 82 to 86, Kevin. And Neosho Class 6, you're going to need it all, aren't you?
Absolutely. And Neosho's had a couple good seasons here. Before show, we talked a little bit about they're kind of that group that just is on the outside of those rankings typically. They've had some really nice seasons here over the past couple of years.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. And always looking to see, if you get a team like that, can they break through? Where does that, into, especially down there when you're facing a Nixa group that's always really good. And then Kickapoo looks like they're coming back around a little bit. And Glendale's been, when they had been up in Class 6, I think, in that category for a little bit as well. But tough. On the hitting side of things down there, we've got, me. I always look at kid from Republic here. I really like this. When you see, he had a 98.2. His average exit velocity is 82.8. It's probably a little lower. When I see you see a top end exit velocity, I love to see a kid with that just maybe 10 miles an hour on average below that. I always kind of look at that because then you see those things, and I think that really works because you're seeing a kid barrel the ball a little bit more consistently in a um, situation like this than you would normally. He's at 82.8, it's maybe a little lower, but still catching a lot of barrels, it seems like there, Kevin.
Yeah, when you're looking through some of this data, the seeing the top end is important because it tells you what they're capable of doing. But I like to look at the average because it tells you how often they're going to do it, and you need hitting's about being consistent. So be honest, I see plenty of kids that can hit the ball hard that aren't that great of hitters in the springtime. So yeah, that is something that we pay close attention to is average and things like on point, some of our other data points um, that tell us, hey, this guy has a chance to be a good hitter, and not only does he have a chance, he is a good hitter. So there is more than just the top end exit velo, but Noah Lashley is definitely one to keep an eye on. He's a well-rounded guy. He's also got a mid-80s fastball. He's a 6'9" runner. So good throwing arm from behind the plate as well. So he's a talented young man, kind of keen that Republic Ball Club.
That's a couple extra tools there, isn't it, Kevin?
It is. Toolsy young man.
Yes. Love that. I look at this one that was right behind him. Lockwood High School. Lockwood High School is one of those small schools. They've been in the Final Four pretty recent over the last, I think, 5 years. That nobody hears, where's Lockwood? If you said, hey, can you tell me where Lockwood, Missouri is? I mean, before now, I'd have said, no, couldn't tell you at all. But this young man put together some good stuff. Now, here's one that's a little closer 97.2 exit velocity max, but an 88.9 average, a 7.33. No, but here's a young man, 5'11", 180 pounds, stocky kid. At a small school, you're gonna get some PT.
Absolutely. Yeah, Landry's a corner guy for him, third base, and 7.33. That's pretty good for a big, strong kid. Strong around, and you pointed out that average exit velo is pretty high. So that's an impressive round there.
Absolutely. Is there anybody else that kind of name stands out to you in that group, Kevin?
I hadn't combed through this beforehand.
There's a school that jumped out at me because I know the schools and I know some of those things, so I kind of look and they're kind of one of those. They're consistently good in the Southwest, and that's Ash Grove. I think it was 3 years ago now. They went undefeated and won the state championship. And this young man, Jaden Shorter, he's a sophomore playing for the U.S. Nationals, 6'1", 176 pounds. And, just looking at these things, and this is the only thing I look at, when you start putting those things together, he's got a big time exit velo, infield velo. He's right around that, 80 to 82 mark, pitching wise. That's a young man in a small school right there that can be very dominating for you if he's with his skill set.
Yeah, and I have seen Jaden play a good amount. We see him a bunch in the summertime, playing for his club team. I have not seen him play with Ash Grove, but Jaden's a really good player, two-way talent. I'm sure he plays a big role on both sides of the ball. I kind of view him as more probably of a positional player, but super talented kid.
There you go. And I like the frame. 6'1", 176 pounds right there. That's a big kid, man, for a sophomore, Kevin.
Absolutely, yeah,
Right? Oh my goodness. So, that's just a few. I mean, we can definitely go down the rabbit hole with a lot of these kids, but there's a lot of Arkansas kids mixed in here. Um, I think what's interesting is I saw a lot of Marshfield kids at this event. Marshfield High School. We're going to open our opening game of the season is at Willard. They're opening the ballpark with the new turf and whatnot. So we're excited to go down there with Coach McGee and have that first game down there. They are playing Marshfield. I think these are two top 10 teams. Marshfield's got a lot of kids coming back, and they're scattered throughout here a little bit too. Talented group. That's going to be a fun game to open with.
yeah. You picked a good one. Is
Absolutely.
that on the Thursday, the opening day?
Yeah, the 19th.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. Put it on your calendars, March 19th. You got to see that game. Marshfield at Willard. Looks to be, you know, they want to get after each other a little bit there because that's not only that's not conference, that's district because they're
Yeah,
both class. That's district. So and if they're in the same district, that's the tough thing too. And that was one of the things Coach McGee was lamenting about. He says, "I got to know who to throw."
right. Yeah, because they won't know at that time what where those people fit in class wise, right?
Yeah, and because we've talked about it, Lebanon could be sliding to 5, and where do they fit? Do they stay up here? Do they move down to there? And who gets pushed maybe over to District 7? I mean, there's a lot of things that I think are still up in the air in that respect, just because of that one piece with Lebanon.
Right. Yeah, there's some moving pieces.
Yeah, so those are tough decisions. Tough decisions. Be interesting to see what he does. Um, Next on the docket uh, is the you guys you were at, and now this one you were at with the Rawlings Tigers. We had a great conversation with Aaron Jaworski and David Burkby. I love talking to those guys. I like talking baseball with those guys. Um, I think the Rawlings organization, they do a great job. They know exactly who they are and how they want to get it done, and it shows in their events, doesn't it?
Yeah, great people over there and good baseball guys, and a lot of depth in that organization from a coach's standpoint, and they do a really nice job and have a really nice facility right there in Chesterfield.
Absolutely. So, Kevin, Asher Krimmel, the sophomore, my goodness, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, yes, he does.
Choked
Asher,
him up, man.
Asher's going to be one of the names to have on the board, one to know in that sophomore class in Missouri, which I think I've spoken about that before. It's one of the more talented classes. In fact, I've gone on record and said it's the most talented class I've seen since I've been doing this at prep baseball. The 2028 class, and Asher's one of the arms towards the top of the list of that group. Athletic, 6'3" ish right hander, maybe approaching 6'4", and at that event he was upper 80s, touch 90. He's been a little higher than that before, but honestly, with a kid with a kid like him, I'm not overly concerned about the velocity. I can guarantee you that's going to come at some point even more. But quality strike thrower, has a plus changeup, good breaking ball. He's the type of guy that'll have a good shot to make the future games, and but more importantly than that, he should have a big role with Lafayette this year, and probably potentially a power four type arm coming out of Lafayette there for the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach DuPont is happy about that young man right there. This one is interesting to me. Oh, were you going to say something, Kevin, real quick?
I was just about to say the same line you just said. If you're about to bring up Hunter Holst, interesting would be the right terminology. Uh, this is a fun one, and sometimes you see a guy like this at a scout day that maybe doesn't make his way to the preseason All State, which is why I love doing the scout days, because you'll find more guys. But Hunter Holst is an interesting guy to have an eye on. He's 6'7". He is an absolute monster, big guy. Um, still learning the art of pitching, but a really big arm, upper 80s. I got my junior college cap on right now, thinking how if I was a junior college coach, I would want to have my hands all over this kid. He's the type of guy with some more development. He could end up in a big time program, maybe even a pro type body and arm. So he is, and he's over at Liberty Wentzville.
Yeah, Coach Reeder. Because I was looking at they've lost a lot of guys over there, and so it'll be interesting to see what he's able to do with that group over there with Liberty. So that one to me, that one was really interesting to me, Kevin.
It was, and they had a couple other good young guys. Jackson Chernesky is a super talented player. Kind of a two-way guy, but also upper 80s arm. Really like Jackson. And then Maxwell Nowak is a Southern Illinois kid.
Mount Vernon High School.
Mount Vernon. He's a big boy. He's 6'6" and 210 plus, I would imagine, but an athletic guy, and so a good arm out of Mount Vernon.
I love this Jackson Cernusky. We went over and had a conversation with Coach Orell over there at St. Dominic. They just got their new facilities. That's a program I think we're gonna see a lot of over the next few years, even probably further. I think they've got talent. Plus, I think they're a top 10 team, maybe top 5 team in the state right now, Kevin.
We've talked about them in the past few years where they continue to grow, like literally enrollment wise, and how they're going to be a power, probably just in all sports. But kind of the main Catholic all boys school out in the St. Charles area, at least size wise. No disrespect to Duchesne, who's won a state championship here recently. Yeah, but St. Dominic is going to become a major player and kind of already are.
Yeah. We've got a dandy of a game. And this one, to me, this one of the reasons why I like this on our schedule. It's in May towards the end of the season, but Vianney is coming over to St. Dominic to play, and we're going to have Vianney St. Dominic. I think that's in the second week in May. So right there at the end of the season, that one will be interesting.
That'll be a fun matchup.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Anybody else in that group there, pitching wise, just jump off the.
They had a good group of young guys. Chase Stearns, I like.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a number of young pitchers in that Tigers organization, and I don't want to. I started naming one or two, then you leave one out. But very talented group.
I'm glad you brought up Chase Stearns because I think Parkway Central is going to be a handful. I think they're going to be tough this year, but they could be, Class 5. The following Carter Fleck. They got the Phoenix. Hula, I think is his last name. Yeah. He played shortstop as a freshman. Fleck was in center field as a freshman. We saw them at Oakville, and I was impressed with that group. They got some really talented young players.
They were a young group last year. And I was debating whether to bring Chase up when we are talking pitching because I would have talked about him as a positional player, which, So he is going to help on both sides of the ball for them. And yeah, but that Parkway Central team was a young group last year. A lot of young guys got playing time and experience. So over the next couple of years, look for them to build a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. Um, Coming back to, um, I'll get there. There it is. I knew I'd get there. Exit V. You know what's interesting too is when you see this. We jumped right off the bat with Asher Krimmel, and man, you just see these guys. It's just, I mean, he's at the top of the hitting, and I mean his exit velo average was 95.7%. My goodness,
So
Kevin.
yeah, what you like to see about that, and Asher will be a college pitcher, not positional player.
Mm-hmm.
But it does show you some of the power and strength and athleticism. And there's a number of pitchers that I could point out to you and say, yeah, that this is kind of an indicator of just a good all around athlete when you see stuff like that. So that is a plus in Asher's category for sure.
Evan Null, another Lafayette kid here, looks like he was pretty impressive with the bat as well. And infield velo 85. He mid 80s guy with his fastballs. That's not pretty well rounded kid there.
Yeah, absolutely, two-way talent, and that's a really good arm across the infield there. Um,
As
one
a
of
sophomore.
right, exactly. Yeah, the Tigers group has a good group batch of young players specifically. One older guy that has been on the radar for a while that I'd like to mention is Payne Kent. Had a really nice round of BP.
Mm-hmm.
Really strong physical player, high academic kid. So it won't surprise me at all to see him fit into one of the top academic institutions around. I don't know where that leads exactly, but Payne's a really nice middle of the lineup type bat and had some good moments this past weekend.
It'll be interesting. They could use some pop in the middle of that lineup. It'll be interesting to see how Lafayette resets. You know, we've seen a lot, and I think Eureka is, as far as that yellow conference in the suburb SDL Suburban, but Lafayette, I don't think you can sleep on them at all.
Right, no, I agree. Another guy, I know you like talking about Orchard Farm. Blake Hala was there.
Oh,
And
Blake Hallra.
yes, I like him a lot behind the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Also took some BP. I know he got to play on the varsity team as a sophomore. So that experience gained should benefit him greatly this season.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see some guys get called up as especially the catching position, because you got to have a good catcher. Like that's you need to have good catching to have a good team. So, even if a guy comes up and struggles a little bit with the bat, I don't worry too much about that. But getting the experience generally pays off, over junior and senior year.
Yeah. I am high on Orchard Farm in Class 4 because of Blake behind the plate. He slumped a little bit with the bat, had that sophomore slump. He started as a freshman for Orchard Farm behind the plate and he just tore the cover off the ball as a freshman. But it's that weird thing. I don't know. It is kind of odd that it just happens. But we actually, if he was at the Tigers, we saw he was at the Mocan
The Mocan as
Invitational.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And got a chance to talk to him. And so it was good to see the young man. And he's one of the reasons, along with, Max Kelch, Brady Rosenberg, and Titus Fisher, three arms that should be really good for that squad.
got 3 arms and a catcher, you're going to have a good chance, right?
Right. Here's the other one though, Kevin. If you will stay in the GAC North, uh, Ty Ducati over there
Yeah.
with Coach Allen. He always just seems to have these guys, that just pop up, and you're like, dang, where'd that kid come from? And I mean, this kid is he looks like he's pretty good, pretty good bat there too, Kevin.
And Ty does a good job behind the plate. Very consistent thrower. Has a nice throwing arm and can hurt you at the plate. He's got some juice. So yeah, Ty's over there at St. Charles West, and is a really nice player. So I would expect a big season from Ty for West this spring.
Yeah, and as big a kid as he is, you can see from some of the stuff he's 6'2", 205, but he runs a 6'9", 5".
Yeah, that's moving for a catcher, and yeah, he's put together pretty good.
Yeah, so Coach Allen, there you go, always getting somebody there to stand out. Overall, here's a couple of kids that I'd love to hear, because to me this is one that's going to be interesting, because Timberland lost so many guys, and Parker Runge was at this event, junior, at Timberland, plays for Rawlings. What'd you think of him, Kevin? Did you get a chance to see him that much?
I'm sorry,
Parker Runge.
Brian, you just said Parker Runge?
Yeah. Because it looks like his BP, his max velo exit was 97, average 92, sweet spot 67%. You're getting barrels, and a 7, basically a 7.
Yeah, Parker's a good player, outfielder, Timberland, pretty good all around athlete. Can run, and can swing the bat. Strong kid, thick lower half. He's gonna. You talked about the turnover with Timberland. They're gonna need guys like Parker Runge to come to the forefront and kind of lead that offense.
They're going to need some guys. They're going to have to rely on a lot of young guys, it seems like, too, because I don't think their senior class was very big this year. It's going to be that junior class that I think is going to have to, Parker Sansony. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it Sansone?
Sansone, yes.
Okay. And we actually did see him yesterday. We were over. We had a visit with Mr. Graves at his place, and watching some of the kids work out over there. I'll tell you, man, I liked what I really like. I always have. Met the kid when he was in eighth grade, maybe a freshman, but Brendan Pyle, just a nice kid. I like Brendan a lot. And he looked really good. He was over there throwing a little bit, and saw him. He looked really good.
Brennan's a stud. Good player, and yeah, true two-way guy.
Yeah, man. Another one here, I think this is going to be interesting. I've talked a lot about Washington, Kevin. Washington High School. Grant Hummel, the junior, 6'2", 200 pounds. They have, of course, Henry Vetter. This young man right behind that. I think they could be a tremendous 1-2 punch. And then there's the other.
Absolutely agree with that. And I was just thinking about Henry Vetter because I just saw him when you brought up Washington. But yeah, Grant is also a strong kid and has a chance to have a big spring. Kind of more of your physical right-handed bat. Not a great runner, but going to look to plug the gap with extra base hits. And then I did see Henry Vetter on Sunday, actually, and man, he looked good. 91, 94 has really filled out physically. Um, I'm looking for a strong year out of Henry, but I'm looking forward to getting out to see Grant and Henry and the rest of Washington at some point this spring. I'm certain I'll be out there.
And I'm not sure. I haven't heard yet, but I think it was Murhoff that transferred from CBC out there to Washington, from what I'd heard.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Was some scuttlebutt I heard, so I got to check it out. I need to reach out to Coach Goff and see if that is. I try to stay away from that. I shouldn't even have said that, but because I don't ascribe to be some journalist or anything like that.
Yeah.
But we're talking base, but it was just sometimes I say what's on the top of my head, and sometimes not. Best thing to do. Oh, mercy. But anyway, I digress. But hey, but overall, Kevin, there's a lot of good, there's Carter Fleck down here. I mean, this is another sophomore. I really enjoyed watching this young man play baseball, covering center field. Oh my goodness. He can run. He can hit. He gets a little stronger. I think he could be, just outstanding.
Yeah, and with these young guys, and Carter had a big year at Central last spring. I care way more about what the skill looks like because the strength's going to come. I have no doubt that
Right.
Carter's going to get bigger, stronger, faster, etc., along with the almost all of the sophomore class. So if you see a guy that can really track the ball in the outfield or has a good swing or does some good things on the mound, and the only thing missing is some strength, generally you got a good player on your hands, and in a couple of years they're going to be where you want them to be.
So we're going to drop over. You've been making the rounds. You got over to Midland with Matt Shadow and his group over there on that was just a few days ago, wasn't it?
I was there on Super Bowl Sunday.
Ah, okay. All right. So overall, your thoughts on what you saw there?
Yeah, over at Midland, couple good young bats really stood out to me. Uriah Reardon, um, physical, really impressive round, about 106, which is, I don't get too caught up in the exit velo thing, but when you start getting up into the mid triple digits like that, 105, that's really saying something. So junior bat, and you gave me a little education before the show on his high school. He goes to Veritas Christian.
Veritas.
Veritas Christian.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna maybe have to make a trip out there this spring.
Yeah, I think they play I think they play a lot of their games over at
CNH.
Car Shield. Car Shield.
Oh, good for them. Okay.
Yeah, because it's right across the street.
Well, on a day that it rains and some of the others aren't playing, that'll be a good trip to make. Gabe Heaps from Kirkwood High School had a really nice round of BP and is one that has been on the radar a little bit. Gabe can really hit. He's got the hit tool. Strong athlete. Kind of a corner outfield guy, but that's going to be one. He stood out on Sunday and is one to kind of have your eye on to see if he can crack through and make an impact on a Kirkwood varsity team that is on the upswing, I would say. So that was one that caught my attention as well. And then on the mound, really like Colton Tedeschi as well. Colton had a really good bullpen, upper 80s, kind of from a trick angle, and Colton is a guy that will definitely be worth getting out to see this spring.
But we're talking Luke Whitty, St. Charles kid. On the offensive side, I thought, I've heard his name around a little bit. People talking about, because I'm up around the GAC anyway. And 6'1", 157 pounds, definitely on the light side there. But he had he looked pretty decent, 91 max, 85 average exit velo, close to 7 flat and a 79 infield velo. I mean, he looks like he's got, he gets a little stronger, as you said, but skill set wise, you start seeing some of those things that kind of point to that.
Yeah, absolutely. It has a really nice swing, and like you said, just with a little more added strength, which will come over the next year. That he's certainly going to be a guy to have an eye on.
Is there anybody else that stood out to you there with the Midland group?
We hit on the top guys. There was a freshman that was highly intriguing. Bo Armstrong, who's a homeschool guy. So, freshman, we'll see where he ends. I don't know if that's if he's on the Patriots. I guess we'll find out this spring. But Bo was doing some things, especially for a freshman, that really stood out. Did a really good job throwing, has arm strength behind the plate, a quick transfer. An exit velo, he looked like a varsity player, quite honestly. He was, in the mid 90s, and from a tool standpoint, Bo is one to follow. Now, look forward to seeing him play in games and see where he goes. We'll have to see him play with Midland this summer.
Absolutely. That'll be interesting. It's that time of year. You're making the rounds. Love seeing this stuff because it gives us a look at what we're going to see when springtime comes around. And if some of these kids, I love the fact, especially with a lot of the sophomore class, Kevin, because you might see one of those kids break through.
I think this spring's going to be a big year for that 28 class. I think you're going to see a lot of them making impacts on varsity teams this spring.
Very good. Well, hey, man, always a pleasure. Enjoy the conversation. Enjoy the weather. You guys got practice tonight with the boys?
Basketball season still, Brian. We got basketball practice tonight.
There you go. Well, it was practice. There you go. How are they doing basketball wise? They playing pretty well.
We get after it. We have fun with it.
There you go. I love it, man. Love it. How do you like coaching basketball?
You got to yell way more in basketball than you do baseball.
You're right.
I see yelling all the time, and I'm generally not a yeller. But in basketball, it brings it out of me.
Basketball is a sport I really love to play. It's my favorite sport to play. I love basketball, always have. And I coached one year and I said, no, this is not for me, because I could see a play and it was like, oh, make the play. And it was like, oh, why can't you see that? And it was too much for me. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to yell that much.
It's a tough sport at the youth level too.
Yes,
There's a lot of things to it, and so leave it there.
That was fun. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, hit the like button, share it with your friends, leave us a comment. All helps the algorithm, helps it keep moving on. If you want to support Youth Baseball Midwest, so we can keep doing what we're doing, please join the YBM Club. We got some great content, exclusive content for members only. You can join as a legacy member for 50% off for a full year. We got some great, we got more coaches previews. We got player spotlights. I think we got Troy Fisher from Liberty North coming out. And oh my gosh, his younger brother, Theodore, he's a little taller and man.
Yeah. Two studs there.
Boy, you ain't kidding. So Liberty North is going to be fine for a little while, looks like, you know.
They'll be just fine.
So we got some great stuff coming up. We're still working on it. And so please, if you want to support what we do, we appreciate that very much. Kevin, we'll see you in a couple weeks. You got what else you got going on through the next? Who are you going to be visiting?
I got an event with GBA this weekend. We got our St. Louis preseason ID on President's Day. We have something with Prodigy in Kansas City this weekend. And then it's preseason all-state time the following weekend.
There you go.
I also have recruits pitching. We do a pitching event with the recruits. I'm looking forward to that.
That's right.
Even the practice factory, which has been renovated and expanded, which is really impressive facility as well.
Just an FYI, Mr. Wiggins invited us to come over for that event, so we will see you there.
Perfect.
So looking forward to that one. And also, Kevin, how can they follow you on social media?
Prep Baseball Missouri and PB_Moulder.
There you go. There it is, folks. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day in the Lord. All you pitchers, Kevin,
keep throwing strikes,
and you hitters, hit them where they ain't. We'll see y'all next time.